Hi, this is BJ from Digital Mind. I'm just shooting a short video on how to write a freelance profile that gets you hired. The first point I'd like to cover with you is to quite simply create a title for yourself. Now, when you put in a title on a freelance profile, I suggest that you start by specializing. Try to identify what it is that you do best so that it's easier for employers to hire you, and also so that it's easier for you to put in good work. Secondly, add tags that are relevant. In Autodesk, for instance, you have the opportunity to add tags that further identifies what it is that you do, and also makes it easier for your profile to pop up if it's being searched by employers. When you add tags, I suggest that you try to keep them relevant to your personal title, and also try to again consider what is the biggest value that you can give prospective clients. This also shows a lot of confidence because it's very frequent for a lot of freelancers to add too many tags. You can easily get around that by focusing on 5 to 10 tags that are clearly identify what it is that you do. Also make sure that you focus on keywords that are in demand. Depending on the type of profile you're on, you should be able to find that information out from, for instance, looking at profiles that are highly sought after. If you cannot do that, then I suggest you use tools like the Google keyword tool. Thirdly, take tests that fits your skills. Now, this is very important because after employers have read your profile, they are looking for evidence that back up what it is that you're saying. I also suggest that you focus on your most relevant skills if you are taking tests. So, for instance, if English is not your first language, then English skills becomes very important. And of course, professional skills. So, for instance, if your profile is in regard to photography, then Photoshop skills would be relevant to test. 4. Write a good description. Now, a good description doesn't necessarily have to be a long undertaking. If you manage to write it in 2 or 3 paragraphs, it's really sufficient. Just write your skills, your passions, and your experience. Keep it relevant to your tags and your title. Now, you might be in a situation where you're fairly new, so if that is the case, then focus on your passions, and the more experience that you have, then you can focus more on elaborating on what it is that you've done. Then I suggest you look for good testimonials. This is very important to get because, following up a point I made in one of the previous slides, employers are interested in finding evidence that backs up what it is that you are saying. I suggest that you start with small and simple assignments because it allows you to get the testimonials very quickly. I suggest you go for between 3 to 5 testimonials that are relatively small before you start working on larger assignments. This will allow you to basically get started with your freelance career faster. 6. Add a portfolio. I suggest you focus on the best work that you've done and then try to break up projects into small elements if you don't really have a large portfolio. So for instance, if you did a book project, then you might benefit from splitting it up into various elements from that book project before you add that to the portfolio section on your freelance profile. And finally, weed out bad work if you have done a lot of it. Because particularly if you are an employer looking for graphic design work, you're really looking for a portfolio that is on a good average level. If you see something that stands out as being really bad, then you start asking yourself if that is an exception or if it's something that you could expect for your project. And finally, get external feedback. I suggest that a good way for you to get feedback is to apply for jobs, see how clients react to you and the work that you do. Now, this might be biased because a lot of employers do not want to come across as being unprofessional out of fear of not being selected by other freelancers. So it might be an idea to also ask other freelancers if you have the opportunity to do that offline, and also analyze other freelancers' profiles to get tips on what actually works. When you look for good freelance profiles, I suggest you look for the ones where the majority of the work that the freelancer does has come from the client initiating. Okay, that's about it. If you'd like to see more videos like this, go to digitalmind.com.